It is Friday, and that means it is time for a scouting report on a football weekend. Is Virginia back in action after the bye week a week ago? They'll be taking on the Duke Blue Devils for the 69th all-time meeting between these old rivals. I'm Dave Koehn. This is Jeff White, diving into another Orange and Blue report presented by the UVA Health System. Glad to have you with us for the ride. Jeff, this is not your typical Virginia-Duke game in many ways. The Cavaliers 3-1 for the first time since 2007. It's a Duke team that was unbeaten until a week ago when maybe they were a bit exposed to a Miami Hurricane team that really took it to them, but plenty on the line for both of these teams trending upward.
Yeah, I mean, this has a big game feel to it, even though it's still early in the season. I mean, last year's game in Durham was big for Virginia because it was an opportunity to end that long road losing streak, which the Cavaliers did, so it was significant in that regard. But, you know, both teams come into this with winning records, and they both have a lot to play for.
Yeah, and there's a lot back for that Duke team from the game we saw a year ago when Virginia managed to take out the Blue Devils for the second time in as many years, thanks in large measure to 6 turnovers. Daniel Jones, the quarterback, he had a tough run in that game.
Yeah, 5 interceptions. His other turnover, I think all Virginia fans will remember, that was when Jordan Mack sacked him in the end zone, causing a fumble that Eli Hanback fell on for a touchdown that kind of sealed the victory in the fourth quarter. As you said, he's gotten a lot better since then.
Yeah, to the point he's only turned it over 4 times in terms of interceptions in the 12 games since then, and thrown 15 touchdowns in that time. So let's dive into this. Normally you look at a Duke team, you think passing. It's a David Cutcliffe team, but this Duke team is averaging almost 220 yards rushing per game. It's behind what Virginia's coaches will tell you is in some ways similar to a triple option attack.
Yeah, and the 2 quality running backs, Sean Wilson and Britton Brown. So 2 guys for Virginia to worry about. You know, I think Virginia's defense, everyone would agree, is better than it was a year ago, has played well so far, but it's playing a better Duke team as well.
Sean Wilson is the guy with the breakaway speed. He's the senior, just crossed 2,000 yards for his career a week ago. The younger back, now this is Britton Brown. He has been a special player for the Blue Devils this season. He's averaging the 2nd most yards on the ground per game of any freshman in the ACC. You can see why on some of these plays. Good cutback. Great vision, and then the power, dragging defenders. A number of different places that this Blue Devil team can go with this rushing attack. It's not just the running backs, however. When you look at Duke's attack, not only can their backs carry the ball, but Daniel Jones, yeah, he can throw it, but at 6 feet 5 inches, 15 pounds bigger than he was a year ago, he can run the football as well. He has the option to pitch, takes it up the middle here. This is more of that option attack that we more often associate with Georgia Tech, but Duke will turn to it as well.
Yeah, I mean, David Cutcliffe is just a very innovative offensive coach, and I think he's going to mold his scheme to the talent he has. And he has those running backs this year, and he's got a versatile quarterback in Daniel Jones, and he's making the most of it. So it's going to be a lot for the defense to handle.
On the other side of the football, the Cavaliers will be facing a Duke defense that has been very good against the run. They're only allowing 80 yards per game. Going into the Miami game last week, they were only giving up 65 yards rushing per game. However, the Hurricanes, 139 yards up against Duke, but they've got some more talent up there, and it starts with a big man, the 5th-year senior.
You know, we've seen what happens when this offense has to be one-dimensional and has to rely solely on Kurt Benkert's arm. So if Virginia can get the running game going, then it's going to obviously open things up in the passing game and vice versa. Linebacker
play also a big part of the equation for the Blue Devils. Joe Giles-Harris, he's a 2nd-year starter and playing much better this season in his 2nd year in the system. He's been combining with Ben Humphreys, another guy who's getting a little bit more experience, and he has a better understanding of what his role and responsibility is. Those guys have been cornerstones for this Duke defense that has recruited well, and they've got some good young talent in addition to the linebackers, but they've been up to the challenge again, to this point only allowing 80 yards per game on the ground. They also can get after the quarterback with 18 sacks this season. As much as Benkert has had success, you really have to look at the offensive line. They've only allowed 6 sacks thus far.
Yeah, and what another interesting part to this game is how will the bye week benefit Virginia? They've had a lot of time to get rested after the Boise State game, get healthy, and also they've had more time to prepare for this game than Duke obviously had. So, you know, we'll see if that works in Virginia's favor.
Well, it's the bicentennial weekend here at the University of Virginia. We hope to have a great crowd out at Scott Stadium at 12:20 kickoff. Tomorrow is the Hoos take on the Blue Devils. We'll see you at Scott Stadium.